How many times have you encountered a particular deer before getting to harvest him? Hey, the more you hunt, the higher your odds. I'm Taylor Drury, and this is a throwback edition of DoD TV.
This segment is brought to you by Mossy Oak Camouflage. It's not a passion, it's an obsession.
Few whitetails ever have been able to elude Dad and Uncle Terry like this big 9 did. Some time ago, Uncle Terry was after this gorgeous 9-point, but he had 9 lives for a reason. Let's join up with these oldies but goodies as they attempt to harvest the deer with 9 lives.
Mark's not the only one to have encounters with big bruisers. You'll witness a long, deep-seated relationship with a giant whitetail.
He's with the doe. He's standing right behind her there.
The never-ending story of this dream season buck was similar to a cat with 9 lives. He was highly visible, but we simply could not get him within bow range, no matter how hard we tried. You can only imagine the intense flood of emotions on this early morning hunt. Rarely do you get an extensive look at such a colossal buck. Calling this dream season buck away from his doe seemed like the logical thing to do.
Going down into the timber. He's following her into the cedar. Man, what a nice deer. Doggone. I tried calling to him. Now, I didn't rattle. I should have tried rattling at him, but he was close enough and he was kind of looking this way. And I'm a little bit backlit, not bad, but I didn't want to make too much motion up here. Commotion. Doggone, what a giant. He is an awfully nice buck. They are on the move this morning.
This was just the first round of the battle with the big bruiser. Trail camera photos became vitally important in nailing down his home core areas and the times of day when he was using these areas. Subsequently, they enabled us to formulate a definitive strategy, a plan of attack. Here's the plan. Knowing full well that the big 9-point was crossing this ridgetop with regularity, we spread out about 250 yards apart with a camera in the middle to capture it all. Mark on one end and me on the other. Now let's see if he can slip through this line of defense. We're all ready and waiting. With bows in hand, the big 9-point strolls through as nonchalant as can be, just outside of effective range. It's a great plan, just not a successful dream season fulfilled plan. All we could do was sit by and watch in disbelief as this beautiful specimen will survive to see another day. He's gonna slap me in the face and kick me when I'm down one last time. We've obviously nailed down his core area, but getting him within 20 yards of one of our trees is a different story. How one single deer can be so visible yet avoid any danger is beyond me. We've really met our match here. As the moon hangs high overhead, another chapter to this story is still to come. The big boy was kind enough to walk by a couple more TrailMac cameras and pose real nicely for prosperity's sake. All great information stored away for next year's chess match. What do I like the least about filming or camera work? Well, I would probably have to say that it's my indecisiveness, because until I get a chance to watch that footage on a monitor and make 100% sure that I did my job and did it correctly, I never know for certain, because I have such poor eyesight. I never know if it's in focus or not.
So for me, it's the indecisiveness of taking that tape and actually taking it back to either the camp that we're staying at or back into the edit studio and watching it again. I'm never 100% sure.
It's the dawn of a new day, and I've moved on. Not necessarily to bigger and better, just suffice it to say that I've moved on. Now trying desperately to forget about the huge 9-point and how close I've had him so many times.
I set this stand up for an observatory stand, or a gun stand. I didn't really necessarily set it up for both, but I've been standing corn here, and it's really a cold evening. We're sitting here because it's a proper wind more so than anything, and the corn is standing. We feel like they're going to be on some grain tonight. They should be on the move. They really should. It is perfect, absolutely perfect. See what happens.
It doesn't take long and the first few critters start scurrying about and feeling their oats. Looks like we're in for a pretty eventful evening.
Heading this way. Another buck coming off the hill. It's gonna work. That's great, man. I'm licking branch. Coming straight for us. He's walking away. I think he's down right over there. He's down. He is down right there in the edge of the corner. Oh my goodness. I just got done about 10 minutes ago. It was still good light. I rattled a couple times, grunted 2 or 3 times, and he was way in the heck down at the other end of this field. And he came up along the edge of the corn and he got into the timber. And one long, here he come, right here. And he got right under the tree here, walked out here 10 yards, 10, 12 yards. And the arrow passed right through him and he pulled up right there. Oh man, that never happens to me. You're not gonna believe this. I'm using an old prototype that I used to call this deer in. I rattled twice, I guess, and grabbed his attention. I grunted 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, and he was way, way down at the other end of the field, and he came all the way in. But this old snort, one of the first snort wheeze grunt tubes that Mad came out with when they came out with that snort wheeze, and it's the same call that Mark used when he killed his 195. So there's some sentiment here, but it's one that I won't turn loose, you know. It's one of those lucky charms, I guess you'd call it. Oh. That's a long climb. It's as long coming down as it is going up. Good golly, Miss Molly, look at this. Something vital's not the word. I usually come out of the corner. I saw him from the tree when he was running.
Someone's going from the tree. There he lays right there. Look at this, right here. Oh wow, nice deer. 10 points. Beautiful buck. I'll tell you what, it is a happy day for me right now. And I'll tell you why, because it doesn't happen that often. You know, we've spent a lot of time, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, we work extremely hard trying to harvest a mature deer on film, and it just doesn't happen all that easily. And this evening, we had one of those evenings where the weather was just absolutely perfect. Temperatures have been cool, and it's got these deer up on their feet and moving. And when you get this cold of weather, this time of year, they're gonna be out looking. The cornfield was just a magnet. I mean, all the deer were heading to that bottom field. And this buck saw him from a distance, and I rattled and grunted, and there was no question that the calling is what brought this deer to our position. And this little boy worked in like a charm. He just came right to the base of the tree, then walked right in front of me and gave me the shot of a lifetime. Beautiful deer, great day.
Nice job, Uncle Terry. It's always refreshing to watch you and Dad strategize and work hard and then have success in the woods, whether it was back then or now. The hardest working hunters I know. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, the one you're watching right now, and comment below how many times you've seen the same buck before harvesting him. Thank you all for watching this throwback edition of DoD TV, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by Cabela's. It's in your nature.